During the 17th century, thousands of extremist English Protestants, known as the Puritans, are dissatisfied with the state of the Church of England. To escape oppression, they cross the ocean in search of the New World and find themselves in North America, where they settle into and colonize the territory of Massachusetts. The Puritans are exceptionally devoted to their God-fearing ways, dedicating their entire lives to worship and abstinence of all things they consider blasphemous. Tragically, in their pursuit of untainted worship, they find themselves turning on each other with religious doubt. In Salem, Massachusetts, there is a young, blue-eyed girl by the name of Abigail Williams. She is innocent, revering God faithfully through prayer. After her parents are murdered during a raid from Native Americans, she is orphaned and taken in by her uncle, Samuel Parris. Abigail lives at the Parris household with her cousin Betty and Samuel's slave, Tituba. At the age of 12, she and her cousin begin to have epileptic fits, contorting their bodies, screaming, and breaking housewares. The girls describe their symptoms as feeling akin to the pricking of many needles. When their doctor examines them, he finds no trace of physical ailment, leading Salem's people to blame their behavior on the girls being possessed by the devil. As more girls show similar symptoms, the town magistrate sets out to solve the problem by seeking those accused of practicing witchcraft and convening with demons. The first 3 to be arrested for afflicting Abigail include Tituba, who was accused of misleading the girls with tales from Malleus Maleficarum that describe sexual encounters with demons, tempting men, and fortune-telling. This first batch of accusations is of women who are either outsiders or caught in familial drama, but later accusations are aimed even at those who are respected within Salem's church, leading to a fear that if the pious can be witches, anyone can be. Complaints begin to flood the local magistrates. If someone falls ill or dies, the afflicted merely have to pin the cause on witchcraft. Empirical evidence is nowhere to be found, relying mostly upon testimony. They believe the devil cannot use a person's shape without permission, and so claiming to have seen a specific person's apparition is enough to convict them. Investigations are also a farce. The accused are merely interrogated, placed in unsanitary prison cells, and deprived of humanity until they cave to the pressure and confess. Of the 200 people arrested, 19 are sentenced to death by hanging, and 3 die during imprisonment and interrogation. This goes down in history as the nightmarish Salem witch trials. Historically speaking, Abigail Williams is regarded as the catalyst for the entire ordeal, the spark that ignited the tragedy. Beyond being the site of the trials, Salem holds a special meaning to one man who proves critical to Abigail's fate. The world is filled with mystery, having once been host to the Age of Gods. Beyond that, there exists countless parallel worlds, each with their own history and trajectory. Beyond these parallel worlds are beings the likes of humanity cannot contemplate, foreigners from another universe altogether. While humans know of these beings, the outer gods, from the fictional works of author H.P. Lovecraft, they have no way of knowing the outer gods truly do exist as higher dimensional life forms. Chandraputra is the name of a man who pursues the outer gods, and is also referred to as the gentleman who travels through time and space. Salem is the land of his ancestors, and he returns there for a time on a mission to protect humanity from the evil god of the abyss. To pursue the god, he goes into a deep slumber. Around the same time, in the modern era, the demon god hivemind Getia is successfully defeated by the Chaldea Security Organization. While a triumphant occasion, Chaldea's victory is tainted by the fact that a handful of demon god pillars managed to escape the fight and burrow themselves into moments in history. They each try to fulfill Getia's ambitions on their own, using various methods. In particular, the demon god Raum seeks to bring humanity salvation through pain by summoning to the earth the outer god Sut-Typhon. To accomplish this, Raum takes control over Salem, Massachusetts, and surrounds it in a bounded field through which he can reenact the Salem witch trials. The trials are to be used as a sacrificial ritual to open the gates to Sut-Typhon. Raum plans to use Abigail Williams as the core of this fake Salem, and summons her as a pseudo-servant capable of opening interdimensional portals. Raum invades Chandraputra's resting body and assumes the identity of a man named Randolph Carter. He proceeds to serve as Abigail's guardian after her parents are killed. He first makes this Salem as accurately as possible to the historical witch trials, only to discover that events do not play out as he intended. As such, he continuously restarts events, introducing new elements with the hope of finally creating the proper circumstances for Soot-Typhon's emergence. When Chaldea's observational lens Sheba detects Raum's Salem singularity, the facility's fate system responds by summoning the Queen of Sheba into it. She halts the pace at which the singularity gathers mana at the cost of her own powers, and finds herself taking the role of Tituba as a mortal woman. Raum reaches the end of his 5th iteration of Salem, and realizes he's out of time and mana. For the 6th Salem, he brings into existence Lovecraft's fictional character, Lavinia Whately, to be Abigail's friend. The Whately family also aims to summon the Outer God, but respond to their creation by trying to escape Salem in futility. Thus far, none of the guests introduced by Raum have produced results. For the 7th iteration, he invites Chaldea, and sure enough, Chaldea sends their master Ritsuka Fujimaru to the Singularity in order to thwart the demon god's ritual. Their party aims to blend into Salem's community, disguised as a band of traveling performers. Upon ray-shifting, the party comes across Abigail directing other village children in a magic ritual taught to her by Lavinia. Carter also finds the girls and scolds Abigail for dragging them into the woods in the dead of night. Hoping to exploit Chaldea, Carter plays his part as Abigail's uncle and welcomes Ritsuka's party into his home. There he blames Tituba for teaching the girls the ritual they used, and forbids her from speaking of her hometown as punishment. While Ritsuka and their servants stay at Carter's home, they develop a friendship with Abigail. She tells them her favorite foods, and how she cherishes Lavinia and Tituba. Sadly, when she considers the idea of leaving Salem, she is struck with a sudden panic attack, causing her to declare that the world outside Salem is full of suffering. To accelerate the chaos of the trials, Raum has introduced Matthew Hopkins as Salem's head judge. His stubborn ambition to seek religious justice certainly provokes accusations. When one of the village girls becomes sick, a charm Tituba crafted is found under her bed. Thus, Tituba is the first to be arrested under suspicion of witchcraft. Hopkins rushes through the trial while Chaldea is performing a play to avoid opposition. He tortures a confession out of her and sentences her to the gallows. Tituba is hanged before Ritsuka can respond. That same night, those who were executed rise from the dead as ghouls, causing further terror. Lavinia's grandfather, Absalom, is accused of conjuring the ghouls with black magic, and is promptly hanged along with her father, Noah. In the wake of this, Lavinia swears vengeance upon Hopkins. It isn't long until Ritsuka's troop is blamed for Salem's descent into madness, and their servant, Matahari, is brought to trial for bewitching men with her beauty. A new batch of the accused is hanged, although Matahari succeeds in faking her own death. However, Abigail does not know this. She is forced to watch as those dear to her are murdered, and her attempts to defend them are brushed off as the ramblings of a child. Lavinia tries to rescue her from this by inviting her to leave by ship, but is denied. Without much choice, Lavinia declares to fulfill her family's wish. She starts by confessing that she and Abigail had conducted a dark ritual from her Book of Abon. Soot-Typhon's awakening is approaching, and this compels Abigail to further dabble in demonic rituals. She is caught in the forest sacrificing a rabbit. When Hopkins attempts to arrest Abigail, Lavinia intervenes and stabs him, contributing his sacrifice to the ritual of descent. Ritsuka's servant Sanson takes the blame for Hopkins's murder, and is next to be put to trial. His trial is held on Walpurgisnacht, under a pitch-black sky swarmed in birds and insects. Sanson's confession is accepted despite Abigail's attempt to defend him. His hanging finally pushes her over the edge. Abigail admits to being a witch, the one responsible for conducting dark rituals in the woods with the village girls. As the villagers toss stones at her, she transforms into a true witch, temporarily embodying the Outer God's might. Ritsuka's team fights her until she falls unconscious. All of them are taken into custody, and in prison, Carter is revealed to be Raum. He announces that Ritska, the servant Circe, and Abigail are next to be tried as witches. Lavinia interrupts the trial, rushing in and splashing Carter with the powder of Ibn Ghazi, meant to materialize spirits. Carter's face is revealed to be that of an ominous crow. This revelation to the crowd turns spectators into ghouls, and Raum gives up his act. He transforms into a demon god pillar, but fails to defeat Ritska or their servants. In retaliation, he returns to the form of a raven and mortally gouges Lavinia. Seeing this, Abigail tosses aside the remainder of her humanity. The gate is opened, and Soot Typhon enters into her body. She crushes Raum under her heel and declares that she will bring eternal pain to humanity. Ritska must fight Abigail to stop this. Soot Typhon has the power to control space and time as a result of channeling the evil tree Qliphoth from Jewish mysticism. This allows it to open gates to alien worlds. Soot Typhon's power becomes Abigail's noble phantasm, Qliphoth Rhizome, hollow tree filled by a remnant of light. Opening the gate to a foreign world distorts her target's mind and body, as they are unable to comprehend said world. During the fight, Queen Sheba notices Abigail hasn't fully fused with Soot Typhon. Her powers are not at their fullest, and she can be defeated. Ritska's party takes advantage of this to sever her connection with the outer god, returning her to normal. Sadly, there is nothing Abigail can do to save Lavinia, and can only express her gratitude and friendship as her friend succumbs to her injury. As the group buries Lavinia, the singularity begins to vanish. As Abigail is its core, she too will disappear along with it. Before that, however, Chandraputra, having regained control of his body, apologizes for the incident and extends a tempting offer to Abigail. He explains that, as a result of this ordeal, she has the power of a living silver key, able to open gates across time and space. He offers to teach Abigail to master her powers, that is, if she is willing to join him on his journey. If not, he will seal her power, wipe her memory, and take her to an era of her choosing. Wanting the ability to protect her friends and prevent disaster, Abigail agrees to travel with Chandraputra, hoping to one day return to Chaldea with her full power at the ready. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this channel, help me beat the algorithm by liking, commenting, and sharing the video, subscribing to OtakuDaiKun, and most of all, smashing that notification bell as if it were your waifu. That way you'll never miss out on all of my anime content, lore videos, live streams, and Holy Waifu Wars polls. My vids are struggling to get featured, so that bell is absolutely critical. If you want to support me directly, check out my Patreon, or consider donating via Super Chat. And as always, celebrate your fandom.